Hello, and a warm welcome to everyone joining us today. We're diving into a captivating topic, a tapestry woven with threads of diplomacy, conflict, and mutual interests, the intricate relationship between and Pakistan. We'll explore their historical ties, the root causes of their conflicts, the latest developments, public perspectives, and India's stance. Your engagement means a lot to us, so don't forget to subscribe and share this video with others who might find it interesting. With us to unravel the complex threads of this relationship. To understand the present, we need to delve into the history. It all began in 1947, the year when Iran and Pakistan formally established diplomatic relations. Iran, in fact, was the first country to recognize Pakistan's independence. This marked the beginning of a relationship that would span across decades, full of cooperation and alliances. These two nations found common ground in the economic sphere, and they joined forces to combat shared challenges. From fighting the drug trade to quelling insurgency in Balochistan, their camaraderie was evident. Their bond further solidified during the Cold War era. Iran and Pakistan were part of the Western Bloc, standing shoulder to shoulder against the rising tide of communism. They were also among the founding members of CENTO, the Central Treaty Organization, a powerful anti-communist alliance that dominated the geopolitical landscape of the time. This era was marked by unity and mutual support as they stood by each other in various conflicts. From the Indo-Pakistani to the Soviet-Afghan War, their alliance was unshakable. But it wasn't just in times of war that they supported each other. Their bond extended to other areas such as economic cooperation, with Iran expressing interest in joining the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Pakistan too played a crucial role as a mediator in the Iran-Saudi Arabia conflict. The regions of Iran and Pakistan share more than just borders. They share historical connections that run deep. However, the breakup of Pakistan in 1971 raised eyebrows in Iran, causing concerns about the stability of its eastern flank. Despite these concerns, Iran continued to provide support to Pakistan during the Baloch insurgency. This rich tapestry of cooperation and mutual support paints a picture of a relationship that was once strong and united. With such a rich history of cooperation, one might ask, where did the conflict start? As with many geopolitical situations, the seeds of discord were sown in the shadows of alliances. The warmth of Iran-Pakistan relations began to cool under the chilling winds of global politics. The pivotal point came with the emergence of the Taliban-controlled Afghanistan and the Iran-Saudi Arabia proxy conflict. Let's first cast our gaze towards Afghanistan. The rise of the Taliban and their control over Afghanistan presented a complex challenge. Iran, a Shia-majority nation, found itself at odds with the Taliban's extremist Sunni ideology. Pakistan, on the other hand, had a nuanced stance, juggling its own internal dynamics and regional alliances. This divergence in viewpoints began to strain the once cherished between Iran and Pakistan. Meanwhile, another storm was brewing in the Middle East, the Iran-Saudi Arabia proxy conflict. This was a battle for regional dominance, with Iran and Saudi Arabia fighting for influence. Pakistan, having close ties with both nations, found itself in a precarious position. It was like walking a tightrope over a raging sea of regional politics. Pakistan chose to play the role of a mediator, a challenging position to be in, juggling the interests of two powerful allies, each pulling in different directions. Yet, it persevered in its diplomatic endeavors, striving to maintain balance. But the pressures of these conflicts began to tell. The once warm relations started to feel the chill as disagreements over the handling of these situations began to surface. The two nations, which had once stood side by side in the face of adversity, now found themselves on opposite sides of a widening divide. While Pakistan played the role of a mediator, the conflicts around them stoked the fires of discord. The seeds of discord had sprouted, threatening to overshadow the rich history of cooperation and friendship between these two nations. Moving from the past to the present, let's discuss the recent developments and public sentiment. In this rapidly changing world, even long-standing relations are subject to shifts and turns. For instance, Iran has recently expressed its interest in joining the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, a significant development that will undoubtedly impact the dynamics between Iran and Pakistan. This project, also known as the CPEC, is a network of infrastructure projects that are under construction throughout Pakistan, and it is seen as a part of China's ambitious Belt and Road Initiative. By expressing their interest in this initiative, Iran is signaling a desire for closer economic ties with Pakistan and, by extension, China. As of now, the current state of relations between Iran and Pakistan can be described as a delicate balancing act. On one hand, they share historical connections and have cooperated on several fronts, including fighting against drug trade and insurgency in Balochistan. On the other hand, tensions have arisen due to various conflicts and proxy wars in the region. Now, let's turn our attention to the public views in both nations. In Iran, the public sentiment towards Pakistan is generally positive, thanks in part to their shared history and cultural ties. Meanwhile, in Pakistan, there is a similar sentiment towards Iran, with a majority of the population holding a favorable view of their Western neighbor. However, public opinion is not static and can be influenced by a variety of factors, including political decisions, media coverage, and socio-economic conditions. It's important to remember that public opinion and diplomatic interests often don't see eye to eye. For example, while the public may harbor positive feelings towards each other, the governments may have differing strategic interests that could result in tension or conflict. Therefore, understanding the nuances and complexities of these relationships is crucial to fully grasp the dynamics at play. In this geopolitical chessboard, where does India stand? As a neighbor and key player in the region, India's position is of significant interest. Traditionally, India has maintained a neutral stance, balancing its relations with both Iran and Pakistan. However, India's stand is not devoid of its own strategic interests. India shares deep-rooted historical and cultural ties with Iran, a relationship that has been nurtured over centuries. On the other hand, India and Pakistan's relationship has been strained due to a history of conflict and unresolved issues. Yet, India's policy has been to engage with both nations, understanding the importance of regional stability for own national security and economic prosperity. In the face of the Iran-Pakistan conflict, India has emphasized the need for peaceful resolution through dialogue. It has often acted as a mediator, urging both nations to resolve their differences amicably. India understands that escalation of this conflict could potentially destabilize the region, which would have far-reaching implications. Now, let's summarize what we have discussed. The Iran-Pakistan conflict is a result of historical events, geopolitical interests, and regional dynamics. It's a complex issue with no easy solutions. Both countries have their own narratives and public views on the matter. The conflict has seen periods of escalation and de-escalation, reflecting the changing regional and global scenarios. Thanks for joining us on this journey. Stay tuned for more insightful content.